Hey Jeff, do you like pushing blocks?
I like pulling blocks a little more than pushing them, but pushing's okay too.
Unfortunately, that's DLC, so we're only going to be pushing blocks today. And Pushmo, which is, hey, there are games to play on your 3DS now.
That's right, and this one's downloadable. It's on the eShop.
It is. This is probably, Nintendo didn't put out a whole lot of games on DSiWare that I can remember. They put out some.
No, it did not. It did not put out. Yeah, it did put out some, but
I mean specifically Nintendo. I don't think put like a whole lot of effort behind it. I think maybe they. I might be misremembering.
You could extend the lack of effort thing across a lot of different guilty parties than just Nintendo when it comes to DSiWare.
But they certainly did not, as opposed to this, which is coming out not too long. I mean, well, I guess we're like 6 months out after launch, but at least when the first real wave of games is coming, they see like this is a real quality game with a lot of content, which is if you want people to support your service, like you need to get people on there and interested in buying, and Nintendo making games seems like a pretty good way to
Intelligent
get
Systems joint right here, a pretty sick-ass puzzle game.
Yeah, so
not a lot of puzzle games you can describe as sick-ass.
Well, no, because I mean, basically, there's probably only like a genuinely new or different kind of puzzle game every couple of years. Like, I think Luminous was like the last one I really got addicted to, but it's just not very often because there's just so much you can, there's only so much you can do with pushing blocks and put them in shapes, and even then, most games just involve you moving blocks around.
Well, why don't you get in there and move some blocks?
All right, so
stop talking about block moving and start moving some blocks.
So the basic thing, like you have this little dude. I'm not even sure what you would call him.
I think little dude works.
Yeah, little red dude. So you're pushing and you're pulling, and some of the more advanced techniques are like,
You grab from the side.
Yeah. So you can use that, and that's what you have to do to create, like different ledges and in order to get around. And you're trying to collect these children that are locked in these blocks, which is really terrifying if you think about the story, because usually this is the level I've completed already, but usually there is a little child in there that you are squishing and pulling out, and
the whole tutorial sets up this story with like a bratty kid running around and hitting the reset button at the bottom of every puzzle and trapping these kids.
Yeah, which is terrifying. And so let's see if we can. Of course, the risk is jumping to one I haven't played is that we'll
get stuck forever.
Oh, these mural ones are pretty simple. So yeah, this is still pretty early. It's puzzle 37, but that is still pretty early in the game.
Yeah.
And as we'll see later, there are things you can't unlock until you've gotten deeper into the game, especially as it relates to creating your own stages.
Creating your own Pushmos.
Mm-hmm. So you see, like this one's pretty simple.
Yeah. There's that kid.
But yeah, there's that little kid that is when you pull it out, he's crying, he's terrified. I don't even know why they're locked in here to begin with.
How do you? Yeah, exactly. Well, I think the tutorial has them like they're playing around on the top of these things because you're at Pushmo Park, and then they get stuck inside. Some of them actually start with the kids playing around on top, and you see the kid run up and hit the reset button.
Yeah. Like Pushmo seems like a very dangerous place, and
yeah, you should not let kids hang out here.
And when the game opens, you're kind of talking to this old man who gets a backache, and that's why you're kind of brought in. You just happen to be around. But like, what's this old man doing around all these kids, locking them inside blocks?
I see. He just provides the blocks for kids to play on, and this,
that's a convenient cover.
Oh.
So a lot of these mural ones are pretty simple, but this actually gives you, in terms of the murals, it gives you kind of basically the levels that people are creating are not anything, like if you want, as far as I can tell, if you want like quality actual puzzle stages,
right,
you're gonna want to stick to the ones that Nintendo has kind of put together, because the ones that players are putting out are basically, they're drawings.
Images, yeah.
Let's see, what about this? I can just jump up here.
Yeah, jumping around corners is a key skill in this game.
That's probably one of the more confusing things. It's not always clear. Like some jumps, I feel like I shouldn't have been able to make that, but I did. And
I've had some trouble falling around corners.
Yes.
Which seems like you should be able to do, but I haven't. I don't know. I have not played this deep into it. I have not played the first 40 puzzles. I've kind of got out of the tutorial area, did like 2 or 3 puzzles, and said, this seems awesome, but I have to do something else right now.
Yeah.
And I haven't really gotten back to it.
So some of the nice things you can do, I've shut off some mechanic, like if I was to get myself into a place where I was not happy, like there are times when you'll pull the blocks out and there's nothing you can do.
Right.
So you can either go to the bottom and reset the puzzle, or if you hold L.
Oh.
you can rewind time. So that's handy.
Do you
when
run out of that time rewinding potion ever?
No, it's basically, I think it'll only go
Back to the beginning. Or...
Yeah, I haven't run into an. Usually, the only time you're going to be using that is when you've missed a jump or you've experimented with some sort of block setup that just screws up your pathing.
It's just gone horribly
so it's kind of
wrong
just like, well, maybe if I just pull this out, I can sort of auto correct. But it becomes it is pretty useful. Let me see if I can. I mean, that's basically it. Like, unfortunately, you cannot transfer saves on 3DS as easily as you can on the Wii, so the advanced puzzles I am at are not available. But I will go into what I can show of the Pushmo Studio.
Yeah.
Which is where you create levels. So it's really simple. Like, you have these grids, and the grid I have right now, I'm not even sure what the dimensions are, but you can only create larger grids.
It's like 16 by 16.
Yeah, you can only create larger grids once you've gotten I guess, unlocked those later in the game. From what I was reading, it's like around level 100 when you get access to 32 by 32, which I think is as large as the puzzles go. So I mean, you have some. It's all grids, so it's very easy to make stages, and so I'll just make a really easy one. No, responsiveness is not. This game specifically, because you have to switch between so many things on that touchscreen, reminds me how much I dislike the aging technology of the DS.
Like the single touch.
Yeah, like
the way the touchscreen works. Yeah.
Can't use your fingers on it or anything. It's just not as, especially when you're using iPads and iPhones.
You can use your fingers on it.
It's just
the screen size
horrible.
Makes that
Yeah.
a poor experience. It worked for a time.
Yes, yeah. So then if you, level allows you to kind of like identify how difficult it is, and
oh, interesting.
You can
I did not know that you set your own difficulty level.
Yes.
I figured that the game would algorithmically kind of say like, yo, this is easy.
So there are actually some really smart mechanics it has in place. So this allows you to kind of come in and test and sort of see how the level's panning out. But what you can do is it will let you save the puzzle without. So I've made that, and I know because that's a very basic structure that like, oh, actually, you know what I didn't do? I didn't add this would not be finishable.
No kid.
Because I didn't add a flag. Let's see, edit. So and then you've got like the flag. Add that there. Yes. So even though I've created a level, I can't send, I couldn't send this to you or push out a QR code yet, which is how you share the levels in the game.
Okay.
The game actually forces you, once you've saved out, to go in and finish it yourself.
Oh, nice.
So you can download some real diabolical levels, but you will always know that in some crazy fashion it is finishable because the person who created it had to finish it themselves for it to even be shared. Which I think is a really smart way to handle that, because you look at some. Well, I'm gonna pull up the giant bomb thread that has a bunch of ones that the community's been making, and some of them you look at, which are just drawings of characters with pixel art, that can't be finishable. So you see that switches, has a QR code. Then if I hit QR code, you can also set edit functionality. So if someone pulls that up, they can go and change it.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm going to say people can change it because that's pretty basic.
And there's your QR code.
And that's the QR code. So then if you hit save to SD card, then it will save to the card that's in the 3DS in order to share. There's no, this is like halfway there to what they really need. Like you shouldn't have to pull this out, put it in your computer to share that image. It'd be really nice if there was some sort of Twitter functionality or Facebook or some way to email it to yourself.
I also find it really funny that the QR code is larger than the image of the level next to it. Almost as if like, if you just had a bigger image of the level, couldn't you just take a picture of that and have it work? I mean, the colors are distinct. It is a camera.
That is a good point.
I guess it doesn't really matter either way.
Yeah.
And you know, hey, it's a use of QR codes that
actually
seems
makes sense.
Useful and not dumb like every other use of QR codes.
And the fact that you're going to be sitting in front of pretty often in front of a computer or an iPhone. It's not like there's not a certain display you need to be in front of in order for these QR code things to work. So
Now
Pull up.
does that? Oh, now the camera's on.
The camera is on. So this is the giant bomb thread. People again have mostly
Duke Togo.
have mostly just created different pixel art, and it's nice because the grids are pretty simple. So people have made some. It's pretty. I really wanted to play this one.
Yeah.
So if you try and pull up something that is you have not unlocked yet, so this Pushmo is too advanced for you.
Oh.
And you have to get about 100 puzzles in, I guess, to unlock the complexity of those. And so like even just weird ones like this. But I think,
Nice.
let's see if I can find. People have started making giant bomb specific ones. I think it's on this page. Oh, no, second page.
I think all of the video we put up on the site from here on out should be seen through the 3DS camera with push mode.
There we
running.
go.
Yeah.
So made Luchadier, which is cool. But again,
Yeah.
it's really big. So if I go back to the first page, which has some of the basic ones, which I assume would be, like you said, the 16 by 16. It's like Mario.
Whoa.
So it pulls that up
He's
really
very
quick.
excited.
Asks you if you want to save it, gives you a preview of the level, how difficult it is. And then it's right there. What's also, I guess kind of cool is that if, I've got this on mine.
Right.
So if I was to hit QR code, it's essentially mine at this point. But like say you bring, you've got your 3DS, you could bring your camera,
Right.
point it at this, and that's a pretty easy. That seems like the smartest use of QR codes, like for a dumb, like kind of piece of sharing technology, like to just open your 3DS, take a photo,
Take a picture of the 3DS with a 3DS.
Yes.
Yeah.
That seems like a really smart way
Yeah.
to do that
Back
stuff.
out. Go to the QR code thing. I want to. Oh, okay. No, never mind. But I want to see. There's like a message that says, "Please don't distribute." I want to see if it's like trying to say like, "Please don't make porn." Like even though there's no central server or anything like that, and you see.
And none of this is weeded out. Like this doesn't go through, this doesn't go through any content filter. There are no people looking at things. It's not like on Xbox Live where they're, trying to weed out stuff like that.
So here's how we abuse this.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yes.
You can just put the QR code of an image and then just edit it. Put in a QR code from a different puzzle into the image with the puzzle next to it. So people look at it and go like, "Oh, it's Mario," and then what? Nope. Picture Rick Astley. You're welcome. If someone's not doing that right now, I've lost faith in the internet.
Specifically, yeah, especially with the kind of folks on this website. Oh, so see, the problem with stages like this, as neat as they are, like there's not a lot of rhyme.
Fun.
There's not a lot of rhyme or reason to them.
Yeah.
Which again is really not that big of a deal, given that you're looking at potentially hundreds of different stages. At least I've probably put 4 or 5 hours, and I'm only, I think, 5 worlds in, and there's at least double that.
Wow.
So
Okay.
You're looking at a lot of time being spent, especially given that the later puzzles are these 32 by 32. This is 16 by 16, which means the things we're seeing like Luchador are twice as big as this. So I don't know if that would necessarily be fun, but it is neat, and there's plenty.
You have to imagine that eventually, like people will create all their pixel art and all that stuff because that's the cool kind of obvious thing to do.
Yeah.
But eventually, you have to imagine a
start.
sub-community will rise of like, no, dude, I made really good puzzles.
Yeah. And that's where people always start, is just in imitation, and there is
a version of 1.1 in here somewhere, isn't there?
Wait, let me read QR code.
Which is
so I can pull up the camera.
Which is especially insane because
Yeah. So there it is. I doubt that I will be able to pull this up.
Yeah, that's.
But there is a 1.1. Vinny's rule does apply.
Yeah.
To this. What did you want me to look at?
Go to rendering out your QR code. The screen before that, like there. Oh, that reveal personal information about you or other people.
Or cause
offense.
It's really vague.
That sounds like
really
the
vague.
"please do not use your telephone on the limousine bus as it disturbs the neighbors."
That's like a really nice way of saying like you might run into porn. We don't have any way to control it. We have built-in no controls
They're
for
like,
this.
hey, please don't be a jerk about it. But guess what?
People love to be jerks. But you know what? Compared to Microsoft's world, which is clamping down and not allowing a lot of creativity in the user department.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Much rather have this and just have people self-police it.
It's totally an awesome feature, but yes, start photoshopping QR codes of images of bad puzzles and then claiming that they're Mario.
Seems like horrible advice is a great way to end this quick look.
I just want to get that out there, and I'm looking forward to seeing your creations soon.
A single tear rolls down Miyamoto's cheek.
It's like, oh, they did it to me again.
So that's Pushmo, and is available on the eShop now, our favorite place to buy digital content.
eShop?
For our digital devices, $7.
$7.
There's a lot of content there. That's a little pricey compared to other things on the store, but seems well worth it, and it's a good little puzzle game. So
Yeah.
people should check it out.